I think at some point we need to have a conversation about what to do with the boomers. Recently, I was talking with a boomer builder who told me that when he first started, he hired out a bunch of cheap foreign labor. Somebody told him, one day these people will run you out of business. And his response was, well, at least by then I'll be gone.
Hmm.
And this attitude right here is what has led us to where we're at right now. Boomers are the first generation to have pulled the ladder up from behind them. They do not care about the youth. They do not care about the next generation. They think they're lazy, and they don't think they work as hard to gain equity on a shed worth millions that they could have bought for a penny. In fact, it was King Hezekiah who said, at least there'll be peace in my days, when Isaiah told him that Judah would be destroyed because of his actions. And if there's any attitude that can sum up an entire generation, it's that right there. But I don't think they're ready for that conversation yet.
I agree with them wholeheartedly. I 100% agree with them. And it actually harkens back to several videos that I've done over the years where I said that the generations before me are the ones that failed us. Now, I'm going to expand the conversation a lot more. And shout out to him because I always like to give credit to the content creators. So I'm definitely going to link back to him in the description of the video if you want to go and check out more of his content, because I always believe that you should give credit to the content creators regardless of whether you agree with them or not. So that'll be down in the description. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. And then also Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. As a millennial, I am a geriatric millennial. And so what that basically means is that you're on the tail end, or is it the beginning? Basically, you're at the very beginning of whatever it is generation that you are. So I am a geriatric millennial in that I was born in 1982. As of today, the recording of this video, as a matter of fact, I am 43 years old. So my birthday is April 13th, 1982. So I'm an 80s babies, 90s made me and raised me. And then we really capitalized in the 2000s, 2010s, and then we live in our best life in the 2020s. So I've always believed that the things that you did in your youth or as you continue to grow up in your 20s and the 30s are the things that's going to carry with you exponentially. Either you're going to go all the way this way or you're going to go all the way that way. Either you're going to get really rich or you're going to just be very middling, almost poor, don't really have no retirement. So I don't really think it's any middle anymore. The middle class is now hollowed out, and that is largely at the behest of the boomers. The boomers, as he indicated in that video, is the generation, the first generation that truly pulled the ladder up behind them. And what that means is whether you talk about relationships, whether you're talking about economics, you talk about unions, you talk about the times that we really had an opportunity to capitalize and make sure that we made America first. If you want to talk about tethering themselves to the federal government and truly, truly giving up their households, losing control when it comes to masculinity, I think that the most failed generation that I can think of personally in this modern era has to be boomers, because they had all the opportunity in the world. And when I say all the opportunity in the world, they were the first generation to truly be able to capitalize. And I'm talking about unionize, making wages, being able to control their neighborhoods, bringing up their communities. But instead, what they did was they did what Clinton and the Bushes before him, what they did was they truly pushed illegal migration into this country. They didn't control the borders. They never voted the right way. They sold out America by allowing for our jobs to be shipped overseas. And instead, they took the quick payout. They took the quick payout, the early money, and then they got rid of all of our jobs. They sold out everything. I mean, white men, black men, all across the board. They allowed for their women to become feminists. They hijacked the civil rights movement. If you really think about all of the crack babies, if you think about the generation that allowed the government to continue to flood our markets with crack and pharmaceuticals, opioid crisis, meth crisis, when you think about all of these things that has happened and them falling asleep at the wheel, not caring, not participating in the election process, not truly being transformational, but instead they just partied, they had a good time, they pulled the ladder up behind them. This was the generation that truly leveraged immigrants, illegal migrants to build their houses, to build their companies, and they did not care. They didn't give any information. They didn't let the ladder down behind them. They are the ones that failed their sons. A lot of them often at times abandoned their families. And I'm not just talking about the men. I'm also talking about the women. The women had a lot of children out of wedlock. The women also had a lot of children that was not grandpas. They had families on the side. They did some of the worst things. And now, and this is biblical, scripture, the children are the ones that pay for the sins of their fathers. So now that you see what is happening in society today, you can directly tie it back to, and a lot of them, obviously, we're not talking about all. Obviously, we're not talking about all. But you can tie a lot of what we're dealing with today, what we're trying to undo today, directly to their generation. And I hate to say it, I hate to just hold them accountable, but a lot of your sons and a lot of y'all daughters, y'all gave up their autonomy, y'all allowed for this, when you're talking about the Obamas, when you're talking about, all of those people that came before them, the Bill Clintons and stuff, this liberal view, these liberal ways, y'all tied each other to the Democrat plantation, and y'all allowed for the Democrats to continue to go so far left, because the Democrat Party today is not even the Democrat Party of yesteryear. It's not the Democrat Party when I grew up. It's not the Democrat Party that was in place when I was able to first vote, you know? And so what I'm seeing and how I'm seeing this play out is it's unfortunate, because we can literally lay a lot of this at their feet. Now, this does not mean, because I don't want you running into Victim Olympics, but this does not mean that we should not take ownership and accountability for who we are, because I see a lot of men today, they are doing the opposite of what their boomer generation did. They taking care of their kids. They not having children out of wedlock. Now we got our different whole nother problem with our women. But again, that is at the behest of the men and the women that came before us, because they are the ones that advocated for the feminist movement, advocated for my body, my choice, advocated for Planned Parenthood, advocated for some of the worst things that we see happening in society today. They built their companies on the backs of immigrants and didn't leave any crumbs, any trail, or any seeds for us to be able to plant these money trees and give it back to the next generation. They sold grandma's home. They gave up grandma's home, and they got rid of and left their communities and allowed it to be devalued so that it can be gentrified. Man, don't get me started. Listen, when I start going on the boomer generation, these boomers, honest to God, and again, nobody is a monolith, and I'm not saying all, but overwhelmingly, we literally need to lay what we dealing with in our economy, our jobs, politically, everything. We can lay it at their feet, and they should really, really take ownership and responsibility. You know what the worst part of the boomer generation? If you see all of these people protesting today, as far as burning up dealerships, and they all super liberal, and they sassy, and they men with men and women with women, and they really, really champion and pushing certain things in church that shouldn't be there. All of it can be laid at their feet. Every last one of it can be laid at their feet. They sold us out as Americans. The weakest generation that has ever come across in my lifetime and a little bit before, the weakest generation ever. Built they stuff. And you know what the worst part about it is, that they ain't even really got nothing. They sold out for pennies on the dollars, and then got all of the scraps from Longshank's table, and then sold you out, and they left y'all out to fend for yourselves. And now y'all squabbling and mad at each other when y'all should get therapy and also get forgiveness in your heart so you can move forward from your parents, the ones that really left you out to dry. In my opinion, personally, and I would love to hear what y'all got to say inside of the comments. Which generation do you think sold out the next generation more? Now, we are in a mode and in a crisis mode where we have the opportunity to right their wrongs, fix what's going on here today, make sure that we advocate for the right things, and do the thing that's in the best interest of the people that come after us. And that is why I do it. That is why I'm so fervently dedicated to doing the right thing, regardless of how it hurts or helps me, because I'm going to be okay, but I need the next generation to come up after us and take care of business. And we want to leave this earth in a better space had we not been here. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you've watched this more than once, if you've seen me more than one time, if you enjoy my videos, if you actually feel some type of way because of the things that I say. If you've ever commented, you should already be subscribed to the channel. I love you. I appreciate you. I want to hear what y'all got to say inside of the comments. Which generation do you think sold us out the most? Let me know.